Hi, it's Dr. Greg Jantz, founder of the Center, a Place of Hope. And yes, burnout is my topic. And it's one that I know well, both personally, and recently released a book called Beyond Burnout: How to Regain Passion and Energy. Burnout is a big deal, and we need to recognize maybe before we reach that edge where we're falling off with burnout. I can tell you as a counselor, this is something that's very real. And burnout is just a term to describe I've been stressed out, I've been under chronic stress, things haven't changed, and now I've hit the next wall. The next wall is burnout. Now I feel some despondency, some distress, some depression, and I feel as though, as one individual told me, it takes energy just to breathe. That's burnout. Here's some key characteristics I made here in my notes. Emotional exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion. You are so spent. You feel irritable. You feel depressed. And it is that sense of just total exhaustion. But I'm talking specifically right now in emotional exhaustion. There is next, we're going to call it depersonalization. It's a sense of just detachment, or I become very cynical, very critical, very judgmental. And in all my relationships, I don't have energy for anything, and I become very critical. All right, next one is reduced performance. If I'm burned out, I can't give my best. I've already used my reserves, and I'm barely functioning. Remember, I'm exhausted. My empty tank is a little bit below empty when I'm in burnout. Signs and symptoms I made here to be sure to share. Burnout hits the whole person, emotionally, physically, spiritually, relationally, and physical symptoms. Number one, chronic fatigue. I mean, rest does not equal rest. You'll notice a lot of sleep disturbances. I used to work in sleep research, and I can tell you this is very real. Probably frequent headaches, muscle aches, aches and pains. The body physically doesn't feel well when you're burned out. The immune system is really being taxed. You probably will notice two things: change in appetite. Yep. And a change just in digestion, digestive issues, gastrointestinal issues. Some people feel that their system is just not functioning. You feel it in your gut, and you do. All right. Emotional symptoms. Irritability, I've mentioned, sadness, anxiety, a general sense of anxiousness. You may feel emotional numbness, just feeling disconnected from others, and just that negativity. You can't really see anything positive for the future, and just the negativity is big. Behavioral symptoms. Withdrawal from normal social activity. You're going to notice a lot of procrastination, avoiding. I don't have the energy to do it. I just avoid it. That's under our behavioral symptoms. You may notice some reduced enthusiasm or motivation. There is no motivation for anything. All right. What causes burnout? Probably a long period of chronic stress. Things didn't change. Could be number one, work-related stress. High demands, lack of support. There could be personal life issues, significant loss, financial stress, financial responsibilities, significant change in a key relationship, all those. So just in your personal life, where it's been stressful and that stress has not changed. I'd say a lack of balance. I know we all work with this one. A lack of balance. What's that look like? Well, there's no time for any activities that recharge you. You feel like there's no exercise. You're not drinking your water. The normal things you would have done. Okay, so we need to look at self-care. And I know it's hard, but when you're burned out, your body needs restorative rest, and that 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. You may not be doing too well with that, and sleep needs to be, at times we need to have some help with that. I can tell you, because I used to work in sleep research here at the Center, a Place of Hope. We do a lot of what we call sleep studies. We look at what's going on in a person's sleep or not going on. Even a small amount of physical activity. Okay, I have 20 minutes. I am going to go out. I may not be going very fast, but I'm going to go outside, breathe some air, and walk for 20 minutes. I got to start taking those baby steps. We've got to relearn boundaries. I have a lot of that in this little book, Beyond Burnout. How do I reestablish self-protections and boundaries, and how do I say no when I really need to say no? Okay, that's a big one. When we're burned out, we tend not to feel much empathy for anybody. We don't have much compassion. We just can't deal with other people. So, okay. Do we need to seek support? Yeah, because burnout means I'm struggling in depression and anxiety, and that can be significant. And I used the word despair earlier. I really can feel some despair, and that's important that we look at that. All right. So, number one, sit down, notepad, and just start writing for 15 minutes all the stress points. Log them all down. And just for 15 minutes of those stress points, how much time has each one, created or you've been struggling with? 6 months, a year, longer? So all the different stressors, how long you've been experiencing it, and put that down. And then look, okay, if nothing changes in the next 6 months, next year, what's going to happen to me physically? What's some possibilities in my relationships, my physical health, spiritual health? Look at the whole person. And then we need to go, okay, honest appraisal. Do I need some outside intervention, some outside help in order to build a plan of recovery, in order to have accountability, in order to have healing physically? Sometimes we get so depleted and the brain chemistry gets off, and we're just a general state of depletion that we may need to look, where's my body deficient? Am I deficient? My blood work show vitamin D, for example. Where's my body really struggling? And if those things were replaced, how would that help me? So those are all the things to look at. Go to aplaceofhope.com. You'll see there's a tab that says test. There's some really good surveys or tests. They're confidential. You can take them, and we're going to email you some free information just as a starting point. And getting the resource Beyond Burnout absolutely can be a first step. We just got to take some steps today. All right, this can end up being a serious condition, and we do want to get the support and the strategies to begin to make a turnaround. So if it's chronic stress and we kind of ignored that and now we're in full-fledged burnout, this is the time we need to intervene so we can rebuild, kind of restart and redirect a new direction for ourselves.